Hello, my name is Officer Ted Rutt. I work with the Pierce County Department of Emergency Management. And I'd like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with you PCDM's strategic plan concerning the incident command structure and how PCDM's strategic goal, along with your organization, the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs, will be able to have all commissioned police officers who have graduated from the CJTC Academy obtain their incident command structure certificate in 100, 200, 700, 800 by May of 2019. On the cover of the portfolio that I provided for all of you is a list of today's objectives which we believe will assist in accompanying our goal. Number one, we'll define our strategic goal. We'll also present our mission and vision statement. We'll show you the result of our SWOT analysis. We'll share a strategic map. We'll communicate plans to the stakeholders. That's really important. We'll make sure we know, help everyone understand how we have to communicate with all 39 counties within the state of Washington with our ICS training. We'll provide a servant leadership model that we'll implement throughout the state of Washington during our ICS training. And then decision-making strategies will include a balanced scorecard. Our strategic goal, along with the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs, is to have all commissioned police officers who have graduated from the CJTC Academy obtain their incident command structure certificate in 100, 200, 700, 800 by May of 2019. So looking at our mission statement, it's very simple. It's to save lives. To accomplish this goal, it's important that we prepare our first responders by empowering them to carry out our mission by improving lives through innovative and passionate public service. As you can see, this includes our mission, our vision, and our core values. We also conducted a SWOT analysis. We found our strength, our weakness, our opportunities, and our threats. We found that our strength is sharing leadership by providing responsibility and authority to all stakeholders. And again, we'll talk about that and our strength and leadership as we go over our servant leadership style. The weakness, we found that our weakness is communicating among law enforcement is inconsistent at this time. And hopefully what we'll do through our servant leadership and our communication that I'll share with you later on as well, we'll be able to strengthen that and we'll be able to make that implement throughout the state of Washington. Our opportunities, we're hoping that the training will equip all first responders with knowledge and tools in the event of a disaster to help better serve their community. And our threats, we found that reduced federal and state funding could hinder our training, but we're hoping that with the influence by your organization that we can help increase our state and federal funding for our ICS training. If you take the time to look at the strategic map that we provided for you, in the learning and growth section, you'll see that we want to continue to develop our ICS program. We want to identify our needs through improving our instruction. And if we do these two, then it'll create an optimal level of readiness through ICS training and in case of a disaster. Our internal business process, we want to be innovative through ICS training. We want to create experts through leadership and law enforcement officers. And if we're data-driven and we're evidence-based, that'll equal to integrated system program. Our customer service, it's important that we meet our deadlines. We have, number one, we want to be able to have all law enforcement officers online and in person have their training completed, as we stated before, by May of 2019. Our CJTC, our academy, will have all incident command structure training completed by February of 2019. And then our ICS training at our Emergency Operations Center will be implemented by January of 2019. And our last is financial. We want to be able to increase our federal funding. We want to increase our state funding. And we're hoping that this training will be a model for others throughout the United States. And if that's the case, then we'll be able to increase our out-of-state revenue. So communication, we talked prior that communication is the most important part of this training. And due to the large number of law enforcement agencies involved in the ICS training, it's vital that a clear vision of communication is shared with a growing number of committed leaders like you throughout the state of Washington. So we have formed a steering committee, and that is to develop ways to communicate to other cross-functional teams, providing curriculum to law enforcement officers. These different levels of communication will include and not be limited to emails, newsletters, staff meetings, and webinars. It's important that we keep our communication simple and repetitive. We know that if we continue to do that, it'll build trust. This will allow for open lines of communication for feedback from ICS instructors, and if needed, we'll have face-to-face meetings that will be scheduled on a monthly basis. It's important to understand that we'll also take webinars. We believe webinars are very important and will be a good source of communication for instructors and any of our stakeholders that we need. Leadership. So PCDM's primary purpose is to help all stakeholders be successful. To create a sustainable culture where all police employees involved in the ICS training are empowered to take part in the decision-making process, a servant leadership style will be communicated and implemented statewide. This will do three things. This will improve relationships through veteran police officers along with new hired police officers. This will also create a clear direction of career goals for all law enforcement and first responders. And also, if we include our servant leadership throughout the state of Washington, this will increase mentoring and leadership and leading by example. Managerial decision making. Department leaders have shared with PCDM that throughout the process, a balanced scorecard will be used. This will maximize the use of both internal and external stakeholders, which will lead to high quality outcomes by communicating the statewide goal through a list of strategic objectives. These objectives are listed as develop and sustain a motivated, satisfied, and high-performing workforce, will align funding, staffing, policy, and programs, will create, integrate, and strengthen systems to protect people and property, the economy, and the environment. The ICS training will also provide effective internal and external communication through public education, information, and outreach. And lastly, will provide first-class customer service to all our stakeholders, both internally and externally. Conclusion. With your leadership and influence, PCDM is excited to form a partnership with Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs to accomplish our goal where all commissioned police officers within the state of Washington will be able to demonstrate a level of expertise with protecting and serving their community to advance ICS training by May of 2019. So again, I'd like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you at your conference, and I'll take any questions that you have at this time.